Okay, so in this video, we are going to witness complete biopsychology or biopsychology in whichever way you want to pronounce, and we will also see the 9 questions that came in your recent examination, which is going to be our part number 4 of our December 2024 question paper solutions. Okay, so as you can see on your screen, these are biological basis of behavior, and you are going to study biopsychology in deep down by heart so that you will never forget these all things that are coming up in your examination, and you will definitely score amazingly high. Let's start. First of all, this question says that if a severe ear infection, first of all we will draw the ear where ear is. This is our ear, 2 ears, damages the bones of the middle ear, one may develop dash hearing impairment. Okay, so now you know the meaning of what is hearing. Hearing means to listen. What does impairment means? Impairment means to have some damage or to have some trouble in, or we are having some impairment with our devices. Sometimes we say the same thing is happening with your ears. Okay, now they have given the middle ear. If something is in middle, obviously we will have the outer ear as well, and we will have the inner ear as well. Fair enough. If I am telling you that you are in the sitting in the middle, so what it means, obviously it means that someone is sitting to your right and someone is sitting to your left. Okay, so let's suppose if this is your ear, then this is the outer portion, then we will have the middle portion where you have some things, and then you will have the inner portion of your ear where you are having this spiral shaped structure called as cochlea. Okay, then we will move forward to the auditory nerve and all those things. Okay, but the question is asking about if a severe ear infection, let's suppose you are putting more and more Johnson birds in your where in your ear like this, and it damages the bones of the middle ear. So how many bones we are having in the middle ear? We are having 3 bones in our middle ear. Okay, now these 3 bones are called as malleus, incus, stapes or stirrup. Sometimes you can pronounce anyway. What damage we will have? One may develop dash type of hearing impairment. Whether it will be a stimulation, whether it will be a nerve, whether it will be a brain pathway, and whether it will be a conduction. So obviously brain pathway is not going to be the answer, because we are talking about the hearing impairment and we have nothing to do with the brain pathway. Okay, from auditory nerve to how it is going to the temporal lobe, we are not going to discuss about that thing. Okay, now we will discuss about how the sound goes. Obviously, what is a sound? It is the vibrations that are happening in the ear. Okay, so how these vibrations go on? Let's suppose this is your ear. From here, it will go through the tympanic membrane and all those things. It will go on from the middle ear. This is called as the outer ear, outer portion. This is the middle ear, and from the inner ear we are having this cochlea, and from this cochlea the conduction is happening and all those things are happening. Not conduction, but it is happening, and it is going from the auditory nerve to your temporal lobe. Okay, so this is the complete ear pathway, we can say, that is happening in your ear to the brain, and this is the same thing happening over here as well. The sound will go like this, and from here it will go from the auditory nerve. So as you can see right now, where is the outer ear? Outer ear is located in this particular portion. This one is outer ear, this is your middle ear, and this is your inner ear. This portion is your inner ear where you are having this cochlea. Okay, now there are 3 types of hearing losses, or we can say precisely there are majorly 2 types of. First one is called as the conductive or conduction, and second one is what you can associate the knowledge as well, sensory neural or neural. Okay, sensory neural conduct loss and conductive loss we are going to talk about in this particular context. Okay, so conductive and sensory neural. So whenever sensory neural will happen, it will happen where? It will happen in the inner ear. Whenever there is hearing loss or hearing impairment, sensory neural, it will happen in the inner ear. And whenever we are going to talk about the conduction or conductive ear loss, where it will happen in the middle ear or sometimes in the outer ear as well. And now you will be able to understand how they have messed in these 2 options, how they have tried to confuse you by giving stimulation and nerve. By stimulation and nerve, they have tried to think about sensory neural, or they tried to give option like sensory neural, but they didn't. Brain pathway, as you can associate, this is absolutely not the correct thing over here. So what is the correct answer over here? In the middle ear, which type of we will have? We will have the conductive type of hearing loss, because something is not letting go from the middle ear itself. Okay, the sound is not going from the outer ear or the middle ear itself, called as the conductive hearing impairment. Hearing impairment. Now let's read the question once again. If a severe ear infection damages the bones of the middle ear, malleus incus stirrup, one may develop what? Stimulation? No. Nerve? No. One may develop conductive or conduction hearing impairment. For this example, we will take conduction, but it is conductive sometimes as well. Now, whenever we will, let's suppose if the question says like that, if a severe ear infection damages the bones of the or damages the inner ear, if the question is saying it damages the inner ear, then what will be the answer? The answer will be sensory neural. So let's suppose next time they will ask about this thing. So what you will mark, if it is written inner ear over here, what you will mark? You will mark the sensory neural over here. Okay, so this is the correct answer, and we will move forward to the next one called as the easiest question. The anterior pituitary gland secretes dash hormone and the posterior pituitary gland secretes dash hormone. So I have told you n number of times that the hypothalamus extension becomes this gland called as the PG, pituitary gland, and in this pituitary gland there are always two divisions. First one is called as the anterior one, second one is called as the posterior one. Okay, all right. So this anterior one and posterior one, there are only two hormones in entire lifetime, in entire human life cycle. There are only two hormones that are responsible to come out from where? To come out from the posterior pituitary. What are those? Those are only OV. One is your oxytocin and second is your vasopressin. I have told you n number of times, it is sometimes also called as the antidiuretic hormone. Okay, ADH also we will call as vasopressin. Oxytocin has its own functioning, vasopressin has its own functioning for those mammillary glands and kidney and all those things, but we will not discuss that thing over here. But there are only two hormones in your entire life that you will study or mark, that they will come out from the posterior pituitary. And what are those? Those are the oxytocin and vasopressin. Never any of the hormone will give you answer for this, or answer will be from apart from this. Okay, now whatever is left, whatever leftover is there, it will come from where? It will come from the anterior pituitary gland. Okay, from where it will come? It will come from your anterior pituitary gland, from the APG. So whenever you are going to answer about pituitary gland, you will just imagine, okay, there are two parts called as the APG and second one is called as the PPG. We have been told that from PPG there will be only two hormones, oxytocin, vasopressin, sometimes called as the ADH as well. And now whatever is left, it will come from the anterior pituitary gland, be it the growth hormone, TSH, FH, whatever follicular hormone, whatever is coming, it will come from the anterior pituitary. We have shown, we have done in n number of PYQs this particular question. So the anterior pituitary gland secretes dash hormone. We don't know about this, that what is the correct answer, but for sure posterior pituitary gland secretes somatotropic, not only these two. So either the option is vasopressin or either the option is oxytocin over here. But let's try to find out. The question is itself telling you the answer. Why? Because they have given vasopressin over here and oxytocin over here. So this is correct. Oxytocin is correct 50%. O will come over here, but vasopressin or ADH will never come. The anterior pituitary gland secretes vasopressin or vasopressin. Never is this is going to happen. Never. Till your entire life cycle, it is not going to happen that vasopressin will come from the anterior pituitary gland. So what remains the correct answer? It is the somatotropic and vasopressin. So they have just changed the name simply. Somatotropic means your body. Soma means body, growth hormone and all those things will come from where? It will come from the anterior pituitary gland. Okay, so what is the correct answer? Correct answer is your option number 3, somatotropic and vasopressin. Okay, and we have solved this from 2019. Each and every time we have marked vasopressin and oxytocin, and this is one of the favorite question of these guys. Okay, so from the posterior always it will come like this. Let's move forward to the next question that is coming up next, is called as the, we have to match the list 1 and with list 2. Okay, so now they have given precentral gyrus, basal ganglia, post-central gyrus and cerebellum over here. Okay, So you have to just associate one simple thing, and I guess you will be able to answer the correct option. Yes, pretty obviously. Even if you don't know all these options, precentral gyrus, basal ganglia, postcentral gyrus, but if you know the functioning of the cerebellum, then you will be able to answer the correct option over here. So what is the function of cerebellum? It is also called as the small brain, and this function is to have motor coordination. Okay, and from motor coordination you are left with the two options. Either option number 1 is going to be correct, or either option number 4 is going to be correct. Okay, so cerebellum will associate or will match with what option? It will match with the second one. Okay, motor structure in hindbrain. Now what is your hindbrain? The most from the spinal cord, it is the hindbrain, the midbrain and the forebrain. We have seen these things, complete divisions, diencephalon, telencephalon in our previous videos. Okay, so either option number 1 is correct or either option number 4 is correct. Now let's try to identify what is happening over here. Now basal ganglia, what it will do, we don't know about this thing, but about the precentral gyrus and the postcentral gyrus, now some learning needs to take place over here. The post-central gyrus is responsible for what? It is responsible for your somatosensory area. Now, why this somatosensory area? I will show you right now, because where is somatosensory area located? It is located in the parietal lobe. Okay, we have done this thing, parietal lobe, yes. Frontal lobe, parietal lobe, occipital lobe, and then we have the temporal lobe. So, somatosensory area is located where? It is located in the parietal lobe. So, post-central gyrus or post-central gyrus will be available in the parietal lobe. We can think like that, okay, because it is matching with the second option, sorry, the somatosensory option. Okay, now where is precentral gyrus located? It is located in the cortical motor area, in the cortical motor area. And where is basal ganglia located? It is for the subcortical motor area. Now we will just identify where all these are located. Okay, now as you can see, this is the brainstem coming forward. We have the medulla oblongata and the pons over here. Then we have the cerebellum. This is responsible for the motor functioning. You are dancing, you are skydiving, you are doing anything which needs your body movements and all those things. Cerebellum is responsible, and we have marked the motor area over there. Now, as you can see the parietal lobe, where is somatosensory area located? It is located over here in the parietal lobe, and in the parietal lobe only you can see, you can witness the post-central gyrus. Where it is located? It is located in the parietal lobe. That is why we have marked post-central with the parietal lobe. Okay. Now, where is precentral located? Precentral is over here, and as you can see, it is the motor association area. If you will go and refer to the C book, you will find this particular thing happening. This is called as the motor area, and this is called as the somatosensory area, and that is what has been asked in this particular question. Okay, post-central gyrus is your somatosensory area, and your precentral gyrus is located in the cortical motor area, and this is the somatosensory area. So C with the fourth one, you need to remember this thing in particular, and that is why option number 4 becomes the correct option over here. And what is basal ganglia used for? It is used for the subcortical motor area. And this is your basal ganglia. Cerebral cortex decides on body movement, and your millions of nerve cell body execute smooth movement. This is your basal ganglia over here. Okay. And now you would be wondering, what is this central sulcus? It is so simple. It is sometimes also called as the sulcus of Ronaldo or something like that. Okay, but that is not the point. The point is, what is central sulcus? This central sulcus is what differentiate between the frontal lobe and the parietal lobe. As you can see, this is the parietal lobe. This is your central sulcus, not circus, sulcus. Okay. So what is differentiating between them is the central sulcus, between the precentral gyrus, the frontal lobe, and the postcentral gyrus and the parietal lobe. So they can ask you for the next time, what is the line we draw between the frontal and the parietal one? It is called as the central sulcus. And they can also ask you like that, what differentiate between the primary motor area and the somatosensory area? Answer will be central sulcus, which you need to note down in your copy or pad, whichever way you are taking the notes. So what is the correct answer over here? Option number 4 is the correct answer. Let's move forward to the next one, and we have done this thing n number of times, right? Don't need to waste time over here. The correct answer will always be CTLS. Cervical, thoracic, lumbar and sacral. Cervical, thoracic, DA. Option number 4 will be the correct answer. Why? Because in only one option we are having DA, ECB. So option number 4 is the correct answer, and we have done this thing n number of times. Now talking about this thing, and this is one of the easiest question. Choose the correct sequence of neuronal structures involved in synaptic transmission, and we have done this thing n number of times. How a signal is passed or how a synaptic transmission takes place. They have given post synaptic membrane, so obviously post one will come where? It will come at the last, and that is why option number, only the one only post synaptic membrane, option number this will come at last, and that is why option number D is the correct answer. Okay, we will move the unorthodox way and we will figure out how things are happening. First of all, it will be N2. This is your N2, called as the neuron 2, and this is what? This is your post synaptic membrane. Now, before that, what we will have? We will have the synaptic cleft. Yes, this is the gray area, this is the shadow area, and we will have the synaptic cleft, little gap over here. Then we will have what? Then we will have the neuron N1. This is what? This is our neuron N1. Now, B. What is B? B is synaptic vesicles. We will have the synaptic vesicles over here. And then what is their terminal button? Okay, these are terminal buttons. And then what we will have? We will have the D axon. This is the axon for us. Okay, and in this way, the signal will get transmitted from the axon hillock, jumping, jumping, jumping. We will have the terminal button, then the synaptic vesicles, and then we will have this thing called as the synapse. This is called as synapse or synaptic cleft, and then we'll move forward to the N2, called as the postsynaptic membrane. And with this, option number 4 becomes the correct answer. It will always happen like this, and we have done this thing n number of times. Now, a major neural pathway. This was the interesting question that came up, that connects Broca area and Wernicke's area. Right now, you have studied about what? You have studied about the central sulcus. What is central sulcus? It differentiates between the primary motor area, between the primary somatosensory area, PMA divided by PSA. Okay, and now a major neural pathway that connects Broca's area. What does Broca area do? It is located in the frontal lobe. It is located in the temporal lobe, because this is called as the FV and this is called as the WhatsApp. For the comprehension thing, Wernicke's area will come into picture, and for the speaking and pronunciation thing, this Broca area, speech for speech, Broca area will come into the picture. Okay. Now, anterior commissure, arcuate fasciculus, massa intermedia, and posterior commissure. The correct answer is your arcuate fasciculus. Okay, because it connects the Broca's area and Wernicke's area. This is a factual question. For the next time, you have to remember arcuate fasciculus is the thing which connects the Broca area and Wernicke's area. So option number 2 becomes the correct option over here, arcuate fasciculus. Now next one is, this is a PYQ repeat again. Which of the following methods of physiological psychology are considered as invasive methods? Okay, so whenever things like this will come like into picture, invasive. Okay, so what does invasive means? Let's suppose you are standing like this. This is your body, and whenever they will mention that this is invasive, something will be injected or something will be put inside your body. Okay, something will be injected or it will be tortured. You will be tortured, something like that, or maybe a hole in your skull, something like that. Whenever we will do like this, we will call it as the what? We will call it as the invasive method. Okay, now for the electroencephalogram to happen, for the EEG, do we inject something in your body or we will do something? For the MRI, have you ever done your MRI or have you ever heard that someone is going through MRI, something is inserted in their body? Obviously no. Okay, magnetoencephalogram, magnetoencephalogram in MEG also it is not possible. Only and only possible in the lesion. In the lesion we are doing skull in the hole, I mean hole in the skull and all those things, we are injecting something or the other. And in electrocorticogram we are going to insert something in your body. A and C. And by just knowing that lesion is an invasive method, lesion is an invasive method, you will be able to answer. If you mark A correct, only and only one option is correct over here. A and C only are the correct answer. Electrocorticogram and lesion are the invasive methods. Now what are the non-invasive one? Non-invasive, your EEG, for which you can calculate your sleep waves and something like that. Magnetoencephalogram, and then we are having the magnetic resonance imaging, MRI, as well. And with this we will move forward to the next one, and this is Which of the following neurotoxins? Now, what is neurotoxin? Do you know the meaning of toxicity or toxin? Toxin is like poison which is harmful for your body and something like that. Okay, toxic. Toxic means which is something bad for you. Now, neurotoxins, what will it will mean? It will mean that some these toxins are what? Bad for the neuron maybe. We can associate something like that. Okay. Which of the following neurotoxins? It means dopamine esterase, kynic acid, deoxyglucose, ibotenic acid, and 6-hydroxydopamine is what is are the neurotoxins. Okay, now which of the following neurotoxins are used to produce selective chemical lesion? Now, lesion means to insert something. Now, what we are going to insert? We are going to insert selective chemical. It is a chemical lesion in the study of brain behavior relationship. Okay, so now next time what they can frame the question like this is to study brain behavior relationship, which of the following can be used, and the answer will be selective chemical lesion. Okay, along with other options as well. So now these are the neurotoxins are used to produce selective chemical lesion in the study of behavior brain relationship. And this question is a difficult one, but it is a factual one. So you need to just remember these things. Kynic acid, ibotenic acid, and 6-hydroxydopamine we will use as the selective chemical lesion. Okay. These are the neurotoxins, kynic acid, ibotenic acid, and 6-hydroxydopamine. B, D, and E is the correct answer over here. Now, moving forward to the next question, locus coeruleus, raffinuclei, substantia nigra, and basal forebrain. Okay, and they have given neurotransmitter over here: dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, and acetylcholine. Okay, so from where what is included or what is coming out, we are going to mark that thing, and you have to learn these facts as well for the upcoming examination. From locus coeruleus, it will come norepinephrine. From the RAF nuclei, it will come the serotonin. From the substantia nigra, it will come the dopamine, and from the basal forebrain, it will be the acetylcholine. So it means option number one is the correct answer over here. Okay, the basal forebrain, the substantia nigra, RAF nuclei, and the locus coeruleus. And now just check the location over here where it is located. Locus coeruleus is located over here. Okay, it is a part of your CNS, central nervous system, and what it will do, it will give you what, it will give you norepinephrine. Okay, epinephrine, norepinephrine, but it is the primary source of what, this locus coeruleus. It is the primary source of your norepinephrine. So locus coeruleus you just saw where it is around pons and medulla and all those things, and it will secrete what, primary source of your norepinephrine. Now raf nuclei is for your serotonin. And over here, as you can see, this RAF nuclei is again in the similar position like as locus coeruleus. But what it was giving out, it was giving out your norepinephrine Na, and it is giving you serotonin. This RAF nuclei you can see like this, serotonin is going out from these point called as RAF nuclei. And now over here, the putamen, the nucleus accumbens is located over here. It is coming up again and again in one of our options. But this is the substantia nigra. This thing will release what? It will release the dopamine. You will have the red nucleus as well. This is the tegmentum part. And from substantia nigra, dopamine will be released, or it is the primary source of your dopamine. And this is your area for your basal forebrain. As you can see, forebrain, obviously it will be in the forebrain. So you can also locate now from where all these things are coming up. This is the basal forebrain. We have used this thing called as substantia nigra, and then we just saw locus coeruleus and RAF nuclei over here as well. Okay, so these are all the most important things, and that is why option number one is the correct answer over here. Locus coeruleus, norepinephrine, RAF nuclei, serotonin, substantia nigra, dopamine, and basal forebrain acetylcholine. For the next time, make sure that you remember this thing, because they can ask you about this thing again as well, and you have just now seen the location as well. So make sure that you revise well, study well, and do well in the upcoming examination. See you all in the next part, and with this we are finished with these 9 questions that came in your recent examination of December 2024. I hope you would have learned, you would have seen that there were many PYQs. As you can see, this one is a PYQ, many PYQs repeating, some new topics as well. And you just need to remember, this is again a PYQ repeat. This was a new one, and we have just done the December 2024 9 questions. See you all in the next video. That is going to be part number 5, where we will discuss about questions on the attention, learning, memory, and perception, and all those topics. Okay? All right. So make sure that you're revising well. See you all in the next video. Till then, goodbye, take care, and see you all soon.